media meetings. First of all, let's say thanks to God who has been giving us guidance, happiness, health, and mercy, so we can attend and participate in this event without any obstacle. Before we continue our TVD group discussion today, let's take a silent moment and pray. Let the prayer begin. Thank you. We hope we all granted by good health, and we all pray that the pandemic disease currently hitting us in every continent will be disappear soon. Honorable distinguished guests, friends, and colleagues, to start our focus group discussion today, we humbly ask the Director of Valuation to deliver the opening speech for this session. For that, with all due respect, please welcome Bapak Arik Haryono.
Thank you, Maswa. I have to say sorry. Pak Arik just delegated to me because Pak Arik has many other things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, other things that cannot be avoided there. So I just say that welcome to this first discussion for you all. Very excited to see you again. This is a good time to us to discuss and meeting us close to the weekend. It is good, and also Friday afternoon, I think it's what still Friday afternoon is good. So it's very excited to see you again. Very excited to see or to hear your thoughts, and then again, this is our first discussion, and hopefully in the future we can discuss more and more and more. And I personally hope that this discussion is not limited us in terms of language again. Please don't limit us in terms of language. We discuss substance thing. We discuss highest and best use, and we all know that we already learned this. We already did this. We did this before. We did this as a daily task for us as a valuer. So HPU is not something new for us. So please don't limit our thoughts, our opinion, our argumentation with this language. So it is allowed to use, really, if you think it's really difficult to share something in English, it is allowed to use Indonesian. So again, this is a learning process. So I'm so excited to see this discussion and join this discussion. Then let's go. We discuss about it. Highest and best use analysis. Thanks, Mbak Maswa. Time is yours now.
Okay, thank you, Pak Wawan, for delivering the opening speech. We hope that today's session will give us a useful insight, then fruitful discussion, and to contribute more to valuation. Honorable distinguished guests, friends, and colleagues, this time has come for us to start the main agenda, that is TVD group discussion. Before we start, I will read the rules for today's discussion. First, this topic aims to provide an in-depth understanding of the highest and best use concept, the 4 criteria of highest and best use, and the implementation of highest and best use in state asset valuation. Second, participants will be divided into 4 small groups in Zoom breakout room. And third, the name of the participant have been divided into small groups by the committee and have been shared on the TVD's group WhatsApp. So please the committee to show again the list of groups to remind the participants. And fourth, in each breakout room, the moderator will lead the discussion on the selected topic and will be accompanied by TVD management, and it will be held for 30 minutes. Fifth, during the discussion, each participant is expected to share their perspective, and each group appoint a spokesperson to present the result of the other group. And 6, before we start our discussion, I'll introduce the moderator on each group. Okay, let's start for moderator in group 1. This is Ibu Anung Sita and will be accompanied by me, Mas Fa, and Mas Rio. For group 2, will be moderated by Bapak Badru Duja and will be accompanied by Mas Hilal and Mas Alif. And moderator of group 3 is Mas Wayan and will be accompanied by Mas Rinaldi and Mbak Puspa. And the last for group 4 will be moderated by Mas Ferda and accompanied by Mbak Cindy and Mas Fikri. Okay, to remind the participant, maybe the committee can show again the list of the group. Okay. All right, friends, colleagues, and their guests, that's the rule in our TVD group discussion. For the committee, please open a breakout room, and all the participants can join according to the group that has been determined. Then to all TVD management and moderator, please stand by and get ready in the breakout room for our discussion today. And for friends and colleagues who haven't group, please stay in this room because the committee will see the availability of the groups. Okay, is the breakout room has opened? Okay. Participants can join in each group 1 till group 4.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is pleasure for me to hold this discussion. The honorable for Mr. Wawan that give me an opportunity to be moderator. Let me introduce myself. I am Badru Duja. I am from DGSAM Regional Office of West Kalimantan. Today we will discuss about HPU concept. Let me share some material about HPU. Okay. Today we have a topic about HPU concept. In the outline of today's dialogue discussion, we have three schedule. The first one is general overview, and the second is sharing experience from all of us, and the last is a discussion. Okay, the first one is general overview. We know that the growth of population in Indonesia was not same with the land supply. So the land supply be scarcity, and the problem is BMN or the state asset in commercial area. We know that some state asset was located in commercial area, especially in Jakarta, and the problem is we will move the capital city from Jakarta to Nusantara, so many of state asset will idle, and we want to know about highest and best use. Highest and best use is the reasonably probable and legal use of vacant land or an improved property that is must meet legal permissibility, physical possibility, financial feasibility, and maximum productivity. And the question is whether the HPU is same with the maximum productivity concept. We will discuss it. And we know SBO was not a subjective side, but from the owner, from the developer, buyer, and seller. SBO should be there when asset used. So the appropriate potential use we make to get a potential use or optimal use. And the other question is what will a property as stock vacant or as improve? In Indonesia, there are some boundaries and constraints. The first one is regulation. We know that in Indonesia, some regulation was very rigid, and in the sometimes it is impossible for us to fix the problem. And the other one is human resource, about quality and quantity. I want to give some recommendation for fixed problem to optimize the state asset in Jakarta. The first one is selling them, but we know that the specification of the building was not proper, and we lack budgets to renovate, we lack APBN, and our facilities in office building was not properly. But we have an advantage. This will provide money. But after the pandemic, we know that the commercial and office building decreased drastically. It is the disadvantage. So if we sell the state asset in Jakarta, it is not good deal because it is economic law after pandemic, and for a better price, we wait for some years to get a better deal. The other recommendation, we rent them to private sector. The advantage of this rent, we are not lost them, but the some office building not properly used or under criteria, so it is limited use for asset. Maybe we will discuss about some issue before we go to the next topic. Maybe Mr. Alif, do you want to share your opinion about today's topic?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Badrutuja, for the opportunity. So my personal experience regarding the use of HPU concept. Actually, I've never done the analysis myself. I only do it for maybe for the college duty or studying them in theory in textbook, but not doing it for like a real job. It's just a simulation. But what I know about HPO concept is that HPO concept really means that the highest and best use or the potential and the basis for a property makes them higher in value, and it distinguishes the market value from fair value. In this case, maybe from the existing use value, as what we always do in DGSAM, for example, because we know that set assets usually are already built, and the HBU usually look for the best potential use in terms of financial, and it doesn't account the economic or the social effect. So and our duty as service state giving service to people is not mainly about financial but also social and economic. So the HBU concept only applies to, let's say, commercial use, and in my opinion, it's best for analyzing commercial use to maximize the profit. Regarding the experience myself, I ever learned and watched Mr. Budi Purnomo. You may know him. Mr. Budi Purnomo ever analyzed and carried out HBU analysis for a building, which is Bawaslu office in front of Sarinah in Central Jakarta, and it's an office, it's a state office, government office, but according to the HBU analysis that he has carried out, the result is that the building can be maximized use for commercial use and not for government use. So I think from the experience and from that learn, I know that HBU is limited only in financial perspective and not in social and economic perspective. That's in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alif. I get some point from your opinion. The first one, HBU is just collect data or studying, and the state asset has a social effect and service society. But I lost the last one. Can you repeat the last one? Your experience in Sarinah. Yeah.
It's not my experience actually, but I read it from the report.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from Mr. Budi. Yeah, in this case, is Sarinah, in front of Sarinah, in Bawaslu office.
Okay, thank you for your sharing about your experience. Maybe Mr. Wawan, would you share your opinion in Aussie about the HBU concept or HBU implementation in Aussie? Please, for Mr. Wawan.
Thank you, Pak Duja. Thank you so much for this very good opportunity for me to share my experience. So I just start from, I think, where is that? Oh, yeah, this one. So as based on Mas Ferda, what is that? Question. So there are three questions. First is, do you think conducting HBU analysis is still essential to support the government value in generating a good quality of opinion? I might say yes. Yes, it does. Why? Because you know that when defining a value, it's not only defining or calculating a numbers, or you extract the comparison data, then or calculate or counted the cost approach, then come up to the value. It's not about that, but the market is the best way. I mean, defining the markets and how the market going to the certain level of value in terms of dollars or rupiah is the best way to estimate the value of the assets. That's the point. So, respond to Mas Alif's opinion regarding the case of Bawaslu buildings, which is at Tamrin Streets, which is CBD point, that it is a government building. So Mas Alif said that HPU is more financial perspective than a social one. It's mean that we are as the government, so it's quite difficult to justify that the government, I mean, like if we find a government asset, then it's quite difficult to justify the financial benefit or the financial the financial forecasting on the financial potential, the potential of financial benefit of the government assets, because the government asset is most likely tend to be benefited to the people or social aspect like that. The answer is not really like that. HPU can be defined on both sides, the financial one and social one. And the current issues or the current discussion, we also can measure the environment also. So when we talk about legal, physical, productivity, and financial, this is a generic term, fourth generic term of HPU, or based on the HPU theory, let's say, is 4.1. But essentially, under the fourth, this one, there are not only like, we talk about financial mean that we have to be make a profit. No. Financial mean it makes sense. It's not only the profits, it can be a profit in the one side, but on the other hand, we also can think about like, is there any budget to support the benefits? You know what I mean? Is there any financial resource to support the benefit or to make it HPU achieve it? Gitu ya. So if we talk about government assets, mean that, okay, the government asset might not achieve the benefits, but there is a budget to achieve how the government asset can be pushed or to make more benefit to the people. That's also part of the issue. But in the case of Bawaslu, so if we see the Bawaslu, I think everyone, is there anyone, Mas Tuja, do you remember that building? Do you? Across the Sarina building.
Across the Sarina building. Okay.
Yeah. So because when we talk about Bawaslu building, then we have to imagine that. Mbak Yuni Rahmat, you know the building, the building?
Yes, sir, I know.
You know that? Mbak Yosi, you know that? Everyone know? If everyone know, then we can imagine that this is a street, very, I mean, like premium street in Jakarta. Then the building is just in front of the street. So I mean, like the building actually part of CBD. So the question is that correct? If government has building in there, is that, I mean, like in terms of planning, in terms of proportion, is that should be government going in there? What do you think? Should the government have building in there?
No.
No. If try, let's imagine if Bawaslu move to Bogor, or even not Bogor, what do we call it? You know, where is your kampung, Mas Ale?
In Rembang, Central
Okay.
Jakarta.
if Bawaslu moves to Rembang, is there any effect to the like election program or any kind of election issues around it? Is there any issue for that? If the building Bawaslu building moves to Rembang?
I don't think so. It directly affect the election
So
problem.
that, okay, so that's the point. So that's the point. So it's mean that something wrong with the building. What is that? The use. Is in CPD and government still like pushing the willingness to use them as a government use. That would be less benefit for the government itself, actually. That's the experience. Eh? So when we talk about HPU, we don't limit our mind, our brain to the aspect of this is government big. No, but we see the market. So that's why Bawaslu is not, it should be not doing government thing without any financial benefit. It should be done with the financial benefit in that, because the land and the building exactly in the CBD and in the premium space. So it's happened in Australia also, Mas Tuja. So there was a building, a public work building in the city of Brisbane. So what happened was the government decided to relocate the site or make what I mean, like I think it's PPP, public-private partnership with the private. So the public, so they make like this. So all government building in the city, yeah, they deal with the private, high private. I will share, I mean, like give you, let's say like, I will give you this asset, but please make for us a one building, a tall building in the corner of the city for us, a tall building for all government units. So they relocate all government units into the building, and they, what I mean, like partnership. They have partnership to private to utilize the building. So that's the idea. So they make efficient the use of governments. I mean, like the government still have a place to deliver the service to the people, but it's more efficient because now they have only one building for the all agency, and they utilize the other building, the rest of the building to the private, with the private. I mean, that's the point, yeah. So I mean, like when we do valuation, when we see valuation, when we see, or we see the Bawaslu building, mean that's private building because, well, because in the CBD like that. But the fact is, government building. That's the fact. Yeah, because government use it, but the market say that it's like Pondo Indah. We said that Pondo Indah, house of, you know, the mindset of Pondo Indah. The house is say we cannot use this as a commercial property, but in fact, you know that if you have lots of money and you live just across the road, it's very busy, very noisy, very polluted. You want to live there, so that's the issue. This is conflict between legal and the market. So who is the winner? Who is the winner, do you think?
Excuse me, Mr. Wawan.
Yeah, sorry, I'm doing too much. Yeah.
Okay, before answer this question, I want to ask about if we relocate all of the government building to one tall building, but we know that the office building need residential shopping center, and the other, not only the office building. So how we provide this?
Yeah, So it's about, yeah, it's also possible doing like that. So it's any kind of option is possible doing like that. So it's part of possible. The thing is it's part of strategy. I mean, the thing is that we think that we have to be more efficient in terms of government. We have to see that the asset is not maximally utilized, so that we try to make a strategy or option policy to make this asset efficient. So we are, as a valuer, we'll see that we have to see that, oh, there is an option, another option. Instead of keep the building as a government building like that, there are some any option to make this building more valuable. That's the HPO actually. So how about the legal? That's the challenge. And legal can be changed. That's the issue. So anywhere, any place around the world, legal can be changed. That's the thing.
Excuse me, sir. May I ask you to Mr. Darmawan about Bawaslu buildings? I would like to ask about. We know that we work on Director General of State Asset Management. I'm a new employee on here on this office that didn't know about this case, this Bawaslu buildings before. As you said, this Bawaslu buildings is not. We can say that this Bawaslu buildings is not highest use, but we as a valuer on this Directorate General, we did the valuation on that buildings. Is there any recommendation that valuers can give to this Directorate General State of Asset Management to manage that buildings to be more productively? Like you said, if the buildings move to Rembang, for example, that not affect directly to Pemilu, to how Bawaslu did their works. Is there any recommendation that valuers give to Director General maybe to manage these assets to be more productive on that valuation? And second question is, what the effect technically that we did on that valuation on that buildings when we valuers did the valuation? What the effects directly into the value on that buildings? Thank you, sir.
I think Mas Alif can do more. I think Mas Alif can do more because yeah, I know the Bawaslu building. That's why like I can imagine that, but I'm not really involved in that project. I did involve before Pak Budi in just in the I did that with I think Mas Firda and Pak Luh, I think for it. But it was not finished yet. Then I leave this office. So, but maybe Mas Alif can explain more. But the thing is, why I mentioned that removing Bawaslu from that building to Rembang is not big issue for election. It's because of the service of Bawaslu is not based on where the Bawaslu is. So it's about the system. It's about the framework of election itself. It's not about where the Bawaslu is. You know what I mean? It's a different with the office of, for example, CBD. You see that the private one, CBD is really crucial because they have to deal with other colleague and other business partner and any kind of business issue. When it's not in the CBD, would be some issue in terms of maybe communication, in terms of lobbying or any kind of that. Even like you see that one of function of the building for private is company prestige. So if you see Petronas Tower. They say this is Petronas Tower. You see that? This is Petronas. Petronas is really big, like this. You see Menara BNI. You see Sampurna Tower. You see, what is that? Others. Any kind of building with name of the company? What is that? Sampurna Tower. Citibank building. Say Niaga building, Sudirman. So one of function of the build, I mean, like one of function of building for the private sector is the company image. So it is important, but the government, you don't need that. You don't need that. Government, you don't need that. Your work is services. Anywhere you live, anywhere you place your office, people will come to you because by law, people have to come to you. But private is different case. So that's what I mean. But in detail, if we talk about Bawaslu, maybe Mas Alif can add some more information in this discussion. Please, Mas Alif.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dewan. Actually, I'm not involved in the analysis, but I only watched and read the analysis very briefly, not like I read it thoroughly. But you can watch the record on the YouTube. In that video, Mr. Budi actually explained the report analysis from the Bawaslu building, the YouTube in Directorate Penilaian YouTube, I believe. It's only uploaded yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alif. Thank you, Mr. Wawan. Maybe anyone want to share about your experience in SPU analysis? Go ahead. Pak Rofik, do you want to share your experience? Anyone else? I will repeat our discussion topic. The first one is regarding to the current practice of state asset valuation. Do you think conducting SPU analysis is still essential? Is still essential because we know that in our valuation report there are only formalities to make a SPU analysis, and we know that this is not influence the fair value or the market value. What's your opinion about this?
Maybe from other participant, Mr. Juja, you can choose randomly.
Okay, from ladies, Mrs. Fanny, do you want to share your experience? We want to know about your experience. Please, the time is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Badrut Duja. Thank you in advance. Actually, I've just graduated from Pakistan, and now I'm in the OJT process. So for the valuation, actually I never do, especially for the government building. So I can comment a lot of this topic, but from the discussion, it's very interesting because yes, I also doubt for the building government if they located in the CBD CBD place or CBD area, that the government building is fulfill the HBU characteristic or not, because there are functional other function what there are other building can build in that area and can be more productive, like for commercial. So yes, it's very interesting. But when I in PKN stand, what I do for HBU analysis is for residential home. And for me, the most difficult to do is financial feasibility analysis, because it's hard to calculate or to determine if the building fulfill the HBU characteristic or not. So so I think from this discussion, maybe or in the next discussion can be we discuss about the residential building too. Thank you, Mr. Valuer DGSAM.
Okay, thank you, Miss Fanny. One of the four aspect of HBO is financial visible, and I agree with you that the most difficult to analyze where financial visible and maximum productivity. Financial visibility is about a market potential and absorption, price and level of competition, and this analysis content of macro and microeconomic growth and characteristic and other. And maximum productivity was also difficult. We must analyze about IRR, about NPV, and the result was not out our expectation. So anyone who wants to share your opinion about SBO analysis? Mr. Al Hilal.
Okay, thank you for the okay, thank you. So actually I'm a new employee on this Ministry of Finance, and especially on this Directorate of Valuation, but I did college on valuation. Actually, Mr. Pak Badrut Duja, we came here. The new employees that do on-job training, we come here not with experiences and opinion, but we come here with questions. The interesting point from this discussion is, I think, that come on my mind is from the number 3. How should the HBO analysis properly done? Because I didn't know how to technically do the HBO analysis, but just theoretically. But when I study, HBO analysis is closely to property market analysis. When we accord to appraisal institute, the step for do HBU and the step for do market property analysis is the same. We have 6 steps to do that. My mainly question is how the different from that to HBO analysis and market property analysis. Is that okay that if we as a valuer just do analysis on four factors that we know before, the legally permissible, physically possible, financially feasible, and maximally productive, or we must doing property market analysis first before we do the HBO analysis? Please, if you don't mind to answer my question.
I want to repeat your question. The difference between market analysis and HBO. Correct me if I wrong.
Yeah. Is that okay that if we do an HBO analysis, we just check that the site is just the four criteria of HBO, or we must doing market analysis before we do the HBO?
Anyone who want answer Mas Hilal question, the difference between market analysis and HBO?
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening all. So, thank you, Mr. Batista, for the chance to answer the Mr. Hilal's question. So, in theory, the HBO analysis, all I know is divided by two types. The first type is the HBO analysis, the ringkas HBO analysis ringkas, and the fully analysis of highest and best use, that is the full analysis. So the difference between the two is when we do the ringkas HBO analysis ringkas, we only emphasize on the first, that is the physically possible, and the second, that is legally permissible aspect of the HBO. We don't emphasize on the third and fourth part of the HBO analysis. But if we do the full analysis of HBO, in my opinion, in my reading, the sixth step of market analysis, that is the first until the second step, is how we know the market. That is the first and the second part of HBO is the first part of the market analysis. The second, the third, and the fourth part of the market analysis is the visibility, the financially visible, and the maximally productive analysis in the HBO. So the sixth step market analysis is the part of the full HBO analysis. Sorry if I'm wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Hikam. I will add some information about the difference between market analysis and HBO. I do HBO last year in Pontianak, and I think HBO more complex than market analysis. We do more, and also it is more detailed. And I think it support the decision in state asset optimization. Okay, we have only 10 minutes. Maybe anyone want to share the opinion about topic today? From woman, Mbak Yuni, Mbak Baby, Miss Baby, or Miss Yuni? Are you here? Or Mrs. Yosi? Please share your experience about SPO analysis. Not yet. Okay, not yet. Maybe I will give some problem. If we want to relocate state asset from Jakarta to Nusantara, we have to optimize the asset idle in Jakarta. We can provide service especially for a small, medium, or micro enterprise (UMKM), but we know that it is not the purpose of government, and the problem of KSP in Ahmad Yani, in Halim Airport, Ahmad Yani Airport, the partner has to pay some illegal payment to their partner, and we need resource such as money, time, and also human resource. And we know that the government not have budgets to relocate the office building. Anyone who want to share your opinion about the relocation, the capital city from Jakarta to Kalimantan? Maybe Mr. Wawan, we know that the capital city of Australia has been moved from Sydney to Canberra. Correct me if I am wrong.
Yeah. Yes, Master Jaya. The Canberra is the new one. The old one was Sydney, and they moved to Canberra with it. Actually, small political reasons and financial reasons. So it was like what's like competition or debate between Victoria and New South Wales. What should be the capital city in Melbourne or Sydney? Then they put in the middle between them. So they put in the middle, which is Canberra now. So, but out of that discussion, so interesting discussion when we talk about city relocation, particularly when we talk about Jakarta and to be moved to Kalimantan. So now we focus on Jakarta assets, government assets. Then when we talk about HPU for Jakarta government assets, agree to you that, so you already identify, so in the slide, we have already identified some issues related to PPP or KSP, and some maybe local something, like government sometimes cannot, it's difficult to control KSP or PPP because as government, we are not doing practice as a private. So that's something some weaknesses of the government. Yeah. Like we also have no money, time, and resources. Also, it already identified. But I would like to underline that. So when we see all of a portfolio asset portfolio of the government in Jakarta, we might see that the possible action, before we doing the HPO analysis, we might see that the possible action or the possible strategy for the assets would be, first is utilize them as a commercial. Wow, it's commercial. Yeah, why? Because Jakarta. We know Jakarta, almost every single corner of the city is commercial. You can imagine that. Even you see, if you read any kind of property risk analysis or if any kind of, or even like observation, you will see that Is there any residential place? Some, yes, but most of the places in Jakarta, I think, it look like commercial use. That's the first one. Second one is public use. And some asset may be not really, you know, have opportunity to be, like capitalized or utilized as a commercial use. If we see some assets, like in the flood area, yeah, or in the danger area from disaster, we see that it's better to not invest in that. So it's better to use as a public use, or let's say open space, like that. The easy way to say that. And the third one is just demolish or a repurpose use. So we don't need to like change the function, change the use of the asset, but you just change the just maintain the function with a different user. Do you know what I mean? If we have, like, for example, do you know the Ministry of Coordination of Marine and Investment? Anyone know that? It's Menteri Koordinator Kemaritiman dan Investasi. Anyone know that? The building? It's
No,
huge.
I'm not.
You know? Mas Alif, you know that? It's just close to Bawaslu building. It is at the Tamrin Street. And we see that this building is office building. I think it was Research and Technology Ministry building. I think it was that. A huge building, good building, office building, just in the front of, I think, hotel, Hotel Saripan Pacific.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Wawan.
So I
Maybe
think sorry, just a little bit. So I think instead of removing them or utilize them as like commercial one, I think it's good to like use as office, but the user is private. Of course, this is commercial building, but for the office, we still keep maintain as the office building. So that's my point.
okay,
So
thank you.
three options for the strategy for the relocation.
Three options. The first one, open space. The second is change the function for a different use. And the last one, I'm lost about the option.
Maintaining the use.
Maintaining use. Okay. Maintaining the use. Okay, thank you, Mr. Wawan, and everyone in this Zoom. Maybe the time is over. I will make a conclusion for this discussion. Correct me if I'm wrong. The first one is the property has to aspect. The first one is financial side and social side, and the office building not only make a profit if any budgets we will to achieve for more benefit. And Mr. Wawan share the best practice in Australia that we will fix the problem to provide the office building in Jakarta like a tall building for money office building with other facilities such as residential, shopping center, and other facilities. And from our friend from PKN Stan, and we agree to with that that the most difficult of SBU analysis is financial and maximum productivity. And the last conclusion from Mr. Wawan is about three option for a HPO. The open space. Some of us have implement in our office, and the second one is to change the function of different use, and the last one is the maintaining the using of asset. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for your participating. Maybe the time is over and we must come back to the main room. Is it right, Mr. Alif?
Thank you, Mas Tuja. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mas Tuja, I think we have to prepare who will speak in the common group and the hall.
Anyone want to volunteer to give the conclusion from our group 2? Anyone who won't be a volunteer?
Hilal?
Excuse me, sir, because I moved from the break rooms to check.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I know that. You have job there. Anyone?
Anyone who won't be a volunteer?
Money?
Sorry, sir. Maybe other participant.
Okay, Mr. Wawan,
Yeah.
if there is not any volunteer, I will try to give the conclusion from our group. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's all good. All good. I think it's good. Yes,
Okay.
please. Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. We will come back to main room.
Thank you, Pak.
Okay, the discussion regarding highest and best use has ended. All participants have gathered in the main room. Then, the next agenda, each group should be present the result to the other group. Okay, this session will be guided by moderator. Please give a warm welcome to Mas Ferda Hermanto.
Me?
Yes, the time is yours, Mas.
For sure?
Yes.
Waduh. No,
Yes,
it's just
as
like
a moderator.
no, it's time to each group to present the conclusion of the discussion. I think we can start with the group one. Who's this person? Mbak Anung ya? I think.
For the group one, we have
Yeah,
Mas
okay.
Ardi Mardiaman as
Okay,
person.
Mas Ardi. Mas Ardi, please share your discussion, Mas Ardi, in the group one.
Okay, thank you, Mas Ferda. First of all, I'm apology if my English is very bad. I think buat the category. About the conclusion from group one, highest and best use analysis can be thought as the final logic of spectrum of market analysis procedure. Highest and best use, we think, is very important for valuation activity in DGSAM, but still very have big challenge to shifting from basic highest and best use analysis into more depth analysis according to some of the participant experience. And there are some criteria for using highest and best use analysis that we think need to be modified for a kind of asset that have a social mission. Maybe that's all for the conclusion from group one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. To social mission, do you mean social use or something? Sorry.
Social value,
Yes.
Mas Ferda.
Social value. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Social value and the highest and best use is like we talk about capitalism and socialism, right? Yeah, one we measure with the dollar amount, and one is with the benefit value of kind of social value. Okay, okay, for the group two.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ferda.
Oh, Mas Tuja, okay.
I will let me try to give a conclusion from group 2. Okay, the first one of our conclusion is there are three possible actions for the HPU. The first one is open space, the second is change the function for a different use, and the last one is maintaining the use. And also we have some participants from PKN STAN, and they say that the most difficult of the 4 criteria of SPU, the most difficult is financial aspect and maximum productivity, and we also agree with that. Yes.
I don't think so, loh, Mas.
but we have to learn from Mr. Verda. He is very expert for this criteria. Maybe we need some a special session for maximum productivity and
no, we have Pak Nafi here, so he's the expert, not me.
Actually, Mr. Veda is have high flying watch, as Mbak Anum said, that we will
Flying watch.
yes, absolutely. But it is interest topic actually, but was in the another room with Pak Yuse. Now we still discuss about highest and best use in Jakarta when the capital city of Indonesia is moved to Kalimantan, and we plan actually we will conducting the highest and best use analysis for the land and building in Jakarta. Gradually, actually, we will start in the prime area, and maybe most of us is actually in highest and best analysis. Still, we just play in the theoretical, right? So we will play in the reality in the highest and best analysis in Jakarta. That is the added information from me, Mr. Verda. Then Mr. Mbak Anung is still senyum-senyum. I don't know why.
Senyum-senyum, smile.
Yeah, smile like that. Okay, Mas Verda.
Pak Nafi, but the good thing in the another meeting is you use Indonesian, isn't it? So it's easier.
I'm still confused because I will give information in English, but this Pak Yose and Mas Nafan, so I'm really hesitant to talk in English.
That's all, Pak Nafi. Thank you, Pak Nafi. Mas Duja, anything else?
Yes.
Please continue.
I have some issue about Mr. Nafi information. We have discussed about the relocation the capital city from Jakarta to Nusantara, and we have two recommendations. The first one is selling the state asset, but they have two sides and advantage and disadvantage. The advantage of selling the state asset is profit money. Yes, of course, sure. But
sorry.
Profit money.
Profit. Oh yeah, okay. Yes. Generate money. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, generate money. But they have this advantage. We know that after the pandemic, for commercial and office building decreased drastically. So it is the not good deal. And for a better price, maybe we need to wait for some time, some years to get a better price. And the second recommendation from our discussion in group 2 is rent the state asset to a private sector. The advantage of this action is we are not lost them, but we know that the office building not properly used or under criteria, so we have a limited use for this asset. I think it's all. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for group 2. Thank you, Om Duja. first thing I want to clarify, I'm not that good in financial visibility, Mas. Yeah. It's not about the technique. The financial projection is all about time. We need extra time to conduct financial visibility. The rest is about the Excel calculation, right? Do you agree with that? Okay, sip. Okay, the last, the group 3. Who's gonna represent the group 3?
Mr. Asad?
Oh, Mas Asad. Okay. Welcome, Mas Asad. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mas Ferda. I'm sorry, okay, I will answer, resume about our discussion. After our long debate,
wow,
after very long debate that we have done, we have some conclusion about how highest and best use analysis in state asset valuation. The first, the highest and best use analysis is a fundamental principle in determining a value of property. The use of highest and best use analysis doesn't depend on subjective analysis of owner or subjective analysis from appraiser, but it is based on the market where the property is located. In the context of valuation for state asset management, the question is how far is highest and best use analysis used? Does the valuation of state asset take into physical aspect, legal aspect, maximum productivity aspect, and financial aspect? Our answer about that question is considering what we produce is fair value, which is identical to market value. We are notice we use for because there is identical from fair value and market value. We are noticed for aspect or of highest and best use, but because this is state asset valuation, there is some aspect they are not taken into calculation. Maybe I share some PowerPoint, Mas Ferda.
Sure. Wow, it's well prepared for group 3.
Oh, okay. It is clearly. Okay. Yeah. We know there is two accountant standard. The first is government accountant standard and financial accountant standard. Nah, in government accountant standard, there is a fair value can be dicatat as market value for existing use and value in use. Nah, because we use market value because market value for existing use is one of kind of fair value. I think some of highest and best use analysis is not a must in conduct fair value like maximum productivity. I think it is our question for the question, and our second opinion about why we not use 4 aspects of highest and best use analysis in calculating market value, because when we evaluating state asset, we are not use comprehensive highest and best use. So we only notice physical aspect and legal aspect. And if state asset still used properly for existing use, we assume the use the asset financial visible and maximum productivity. Maybe for me like that. Maybe from Mas Wayan,
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's from Mr. Asad is already summarized our question. Maybe in this discussion, in this room 3, we also discussion about can we apply HBO on personal property and equipment, and then after some debate, we believe that we can conduct HBO on personal property because it's like I said in literature, it's only on land or vacant land or developed land. And then we know all that personal property is when it's good, it's already have a specific use that have limitation to develop into another alternative that give highest and best use. That's maybe one of our additional discussion from group 3. Come back to Mr. Asad, Master Ferda. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bli Wayan Sasat. Yeah, that's the thing I highlighted that actually the highest and best use analysis we conducted is depends on what kind of value itself, right? Yeah, and the purpose. Am I right, Mas Asad? Yeah. So because of we're gonna produce fair value in terms of government accounting standard. So the highest and best use analysis is just kind of a confirmation that we don't rely on the conclusion of the highest and best use analysis, right? Am I right? So it's not we don't take it into account the highest and best use analysis in the perspective of market because only fair value. Okay.
Totally agree, Mr.
Yeah, but if the government want to sell the properties, we might conduct the truthfully highest and best use analysis in order to produce the market value. Yeah. Not. Okay. Anyone? I mean, it's just to reach the maximum value of our properties. And what if we to use as a financial statement? So the highest and best use analysis is depend on what kind of value you want to produce, like that. But okay, then anyone have any idea? Please jump in. Please jump in. Ask the question. There are masuk like Pak Nafi, with a lot of quote and quote flying words. Pak Nafi say.
Mas Ferda.
Pak Nafi, before you go, please represent us from group 4. What kind of discussion? What kind of discussion we had?
I will add information from you, but I will underline the highest and best use analysis. Highest and best use result is actually we not just talk about what the improvement or development of parcel of land that conducting the maximal productive, but it also about when. So when or the time when we will improve or develop the parcel of land. Jadi maybe we will develop now, or maybe we will postpone for 2 or 3 years later. This is actually the result of highest and best use analysis too. So we will not conducting only when we improvement the parcel of land now. So we will in our highest and best use result, we will give the information about what the development and then when the time or we develop the parcel of land. And the last is about our result is must be considered the land value before the development or improvement, and the land value after the improvement. So the simple thing I said that we will not improve our land if the value of the land when we improve is lower than the land value in the market value now. So this is the key of highest and basis analysis. So this is my opinion, Mas Ferda.
Thank you. Okay. Any additional comment by Cindy for group 4 before we hand it over to Mas Dermawan or Pak Ari?
Okay, Mas Ferda,
Yeah,
maybe
Mbak
it's the
Cindy.
same like Panafi before. I think in my opinion, the SBO just being a simple analysis for value of property, but and significantly affect the value, not significantly affect the value for existing asset, but it can be something important and useful for new business plan, Mas. Just like what you said before, it's depend on what the value for, right? Such as maybe for the example, if the government want to invest in PMN non-tunai, so the HBU analysis, it will be so really important and giving big impact for PMN non-tunai value and fiscal policy, because as the government, we want to give the highest payment value that has given by government to the people, to the society. Maybe that's it, Mas Ferda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to you, Pak Nafi. Reminds us about high analysis. We have to remember there are two outputs in highest and basis analysis. First, what is the most probable use or the maximum use of property, and don't forget the timing, Pak Nafi. The timing. Okay, it doesn't mean one alternative use can be so today or the next time, the following years or something like that. Don't forget, almost of us conducting highest and basis analysis, even though it's a comprehensive version, I by myself forget the conclusion of timing when. If you refer back to IREA or Capdirjen 184, we mention timing, what time should be executed, the highest and basis. This is for the comprehensive one, comprehensive highest and basis analysis. So from group 4, actually, we left some question. We left some question about highest and basis analysis related to the state asset valuation as a part of valuation process, which is what if, Mas Yogi, do you want to add your question here? So Mas Wawan or Ari can respond it. Mas Yogi, are you there? From Kanwil? No? It's about the legal aspect actually, but that's okay. We can discuss it later. And I need Pak Ari or Mas Wawan to enlighten us with the theory of highest and basis on how should we, how actually a highest and basis analysis supposed to be performed. Mas Wawan, yeah, time's yours.
Yes, Sweta. It's a long time ago, but yeah, let's try to discuss about it. Lucky me. So one case that I have involved before leaving to Australia was Bawaslu actually, Mas Ferda, with Luh ya, Mbak Luh dan Pasar. Then I think Mas Budi continue that. That's the case of highest and best use of analysis that I have done actually, but it was only preparation. Then luckily also during my 4 years in Australia, I was a tutor in property valuation course, and so I teach property valuation and property investment. I'm teaching, teaching, and I was a tutor, so like apa namanya, asisten dosen ya, asisten dosen. So on that occasion, I met several students, and we discussed about this one. And I might say that we are all in the same boat. So so please don't have inferiority, because like some of our friends here, Mas Verda, in group 2 was, I'm a new employee, I have no knowledge. That's not the point. So all of us have no experience. I mean, like very limited experience. All of us know the terminology of HPU a long time ago, but actually is in real experience now. So that's therefore my first point. So when we discuss about ASN basis analysis, that we have lack of experience, lack of practical skill. This everyone. So it's not only us, but also several students that I met in Australia. This is a property economics student, also struggle doing that. Even us, I mean, like the team teaching also, we're still thinking and exploring that. So this is the general term of highest and basis analysis. This is based on the theory and based on the practice. There was a good question in my group, Mas Verda, that who was asking? Mas Tujaya, who was asking, what is the difference between market analysis and HPU? Who was asking, Mas Tujaya? I forgot it. Anyone asking about that in group 2?
Me actually, Mas Rowan.
Oh iya.
Not forget.
Yeah. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot it. Yeah. Pak Dawi. Yeah. Who was it? I think Hilal. Who's that? I forgot. Yeah, but it was question about it. So, what is the difference between market analysis and HPU? But it is different. Part of has mutual relationships. So you can't doing HPU without doing market analysis. Of course, you can do market analysis without HPU, but if you do market analysis, you will understand what is the HPU actually. But you have to do more deeply. Okay. So I may say that HPU analysis is not standalone analysis. HPU analysis is complex analysis. This one is formulated to connect with other analysis. First, we call market or property market analysis, even micro and macro economic analysis. The second one, we have to do financial analysis. The third one, we have to legal due diligence. Then the fifth one, we have to do what I mean, like, I'm not saying physical, but it's more existing analysis, existing physical analysis, or in terms of when we talk about productivity analysis. So that's the thing. So HPU analysis is not standalone analysis. So that's the thing. But don't imagine that HPU analysis is only one page, or 2 pages, or 3 pages that consists of legal analysis. And based on legal, this is used for government use. So this is what I mean, like, this is best use for government use. That's it. It's not look like this, and it is what we call a simple HPU analysis. Yeah, Pak Nafi, simple HPU analysis. We call it just summary, overview, overview or highlight of the market. But again, we can do simple analysis actually when we have knowledge of the complex one actually, because we can't just like guessing, oh this is guess, but we have to see an indication of the market, then we can do simple analysis. So that's the first thing is general analysis. There is what I mean like intercycle of analysis. So there are some analysis there. So it's a bit complex. The second one is HPU is not look like tools that we have to be. Okay, we said that conclude that because legal say that like we have case we discussed the Bawaslu building, Pak Nafi. So we say that Bawaslu building is the government office. Okay, government office. Then the legal say, yeah, this is for government use. Okay, clear. Legal say that it's clock, government use. So HPU is not like black and white recommendation. Of course, legal say this is government use. But when in conflict with the market, that market say, of course, we see that Bawaslu building is just across the Sarinah Tamrin, and you know that it's located on the street, just at the streets. Tamrin Street is a premium street, Jakarta, with I think the price now is more than 50 million rupiah per meter square from the land. So is it worth it to place the office building, government office building in there? So we have to think about, should this analysis correct the legal one, like that? So it's not black and white analysis. So it can possibly from the analysis of HPU, we can see that, oh, this legal should be, it's not revised, but should be think about some adjustment from the legal maybe. Yeah. So that's the thing. So that's the second one. So that is the HPU analysis. So I'm not talking about the technical thing, but this is the main idea of HPU analysis. When we are doing financial calculation in the analysis, we are not only, okay, this is the NPV, the ERR, or any kind of financial indicators. No, but actually we do the extraction of the condition of the asset itself. So yeah, this for me, Mas Firda. So I know there needs to be more discussion on this, but yeah, at least we have to know that HPU is not standalone analysis, and HPU is not black and white output analysis. It's still gray there that we still have to discuss more to answer what it should be. Some report of HPU maybe can be sent to the parliament and say, or be sent to the local government and say, hey, local government, see the legal of this one is not matched with the market. So what have to do with this conflicting market and legal condition? Should be there. So that we have to analyze the condition of the market and the existing use. Yeah. So that's all, Mas Firda, from me. I think Pak Nafi has so many ideas regarding this. We have to hear from Pak Nafi, has experience long time ago.
What is this? Sorry. Actually, we talk about HSN-based analysis. That's what Mas Wawan said. Actually, in Bawaslu, Mas Wawan, as existing use, it's not just for the government office. The existing use of zoning is actually for commercial, Mas Wawan. So that's why.
Oh, that's great then.
Yes, that's why in another Zoom, provide to Pak Yose that we will conducting the highest and best use analysis. The pilot project is Bawaslu bidding because the existing of zoning is for commercial. So we will conducting more valid than when we assume that the zone is changed in the future. But for the in second, actually the zoning or legally permissible is actually not black or white, but it can be changed in the future. But when we assume that the zone S can be changed in the future, this is a consequence that we will add the cost of we change the zoning and the calculation of as basis for the financial feasible. That's why when we conducting this basis in Jakarta, we'll assume that in 2 or 3 years after now or in the future, we will assume that the zoning will be changed for especially in the zoning that government office like in maybe in Gatot Subroto or in Sudirman that existing use of zoning is for government office. We will assume that in the future it can be changed and we will edit the cost of changing to the as and basis analysis, especially for financial feasible. That's Mas Wawan.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Nafi. Finally, it's close to the door. It's not open the door. Open the door. It's close to the door. The door and go to the weekend. Yeah. Thank you so much for today's discussion. Pak Arik say hello to me and say that I think Mas Veda is a good idea to like see and like we have like awards for everyone who doing well and perform well for a month. Then we will provide some gift, maybe one trip to maybe somewhere, Pak Nafi. I don't know. We try to look
And
for
maybe in the Redland maybe
yeah.
to swing Redland Terhabang. So.
So we think about award, Mas Veda. Maybe you have comment for that. So maybe we will discuss in the committee about the award. So we will see who is the award like the active participant, very thoughtful participant like that. So yeah, again, thank you so much, everyone. Pak Nafi, could you please close the session, Pak Nafi, as the hit of
actually the Mr. President
direction.
I'm a participant in this case. I'm not a Kasubdil type.
No. You are the actually sure about that.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Mr. Wawan, for everyone. Say thank you, and we hope our discussion can improve English. And the last, I said that we must speak up because it's the way to improve our English. Actually, I'm good in Japanese language, but not in English. But as you know that I'm a nekat man. Mr. Veda said that it's the same meaning, from the nekat man, right? But it's okay. Thanks for all, and from me, close this session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Pak Nafi. Thank you guys, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Stay healthy, everyone.
Okay, thanks a lot. Banung, Payung Banung.
Take a good care, everyone.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Nafi, for closing statement. Ini it has been closed ya, Mas? So,
You want to say something, Mbak Masfa?
thank you, Pak Nafi. Yeah, sorry, that my voice. You can hear my voice.
Yeah, for sure.
I was saying that that my voice. Okay, thank you, Pak Nafi, for delivering the closing statement. Honorable distinguished guests, friends, and colleagues, with the closing statement from Pak Nafi, the TVD group discussion, and in this time, on behalf of the and our colleagues behind the screen, we do apologize if there is any mistake or something that make uncomfortable during this session. We're looking forward to see you in the future event and stay safe and stay healthy. Oke, Mas Fatul Marifah signing off. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you Mbak Mas Fa, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.